Lake is a senior advisor for the U.S. Agency for Global Media, and she joins us now. I don't think they got the barrel just right, but they got the president sitting there pretty good.
Perfect.
So
if they're going to overhaul their look, that's what they should put.
It would be better
than
that basic. I mean, whatever they did before, just it looked like some kind of ridiculous. It almost looked like a tech company or something. It had no soul.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it before. I mean, you'd think that these CEOs would learn with what happened with Target and Bud Light, where they nearly destroy. Well, Bud Light did destroy the brand. I still know people who won't drink it. Target did so much damage when they were pushing the trans and the pride stuff on us nonstop. You would think that companies would know not to do that. But this one stepped in it. They screwed up. President Trump gave them free advice. The master of marketing, of all marketing, gave them free advice. And they finally did something smart and took his advice and went back to the old logo. Now, look, I'm all for making sure the interior of the restaurant's clean. You can make a little tweak here and there. But to completely overhaul things when you become known for, one thing, and then to try to completely run away from that and do something else. Now they need to work on their DEI and their woke policies that are happening behind the scenes, because people have found out about that now,
right.
And that's a real turnoff for consumers.
Nobody wants to support that with their dollars, and I think the CEO is going to have to go too. And you're right, it was the same mistake that the Bud Light. It was the same arrogance of the Bud Light marketing girl that was just a young woman that thought that, oh, my product, Bud Light, my product, Cracker Barrel, is not relevant in Brooklyn and in big cities and with cosmopolitan people that she probably associates with. I want to make it like that because I want to work at a company that's relevant among my peers. But and she thought that she could just change everything and do that. What they don't understand is you have a customer base. And if you lose that, you lose it all. Like, it's the arrogance that you think you can just hold on to this thing forever as if you're just entitled to it. You're just entitled to that base, and you can just go out and claw and get more back to it, is what the woman on the screen just did not understand somehow as the CEO of a major company.
But I think the problem is they're hiring CEOs who really aren't consumers of their product.
Exactly.
I want to see a CEO of a product who loves that product with all their heart. I get the feeling looking at her and based on what she did that she's never before she worked at Cracker Barrel had stepped foot in a Cracker Barrel. And so you got to know your customer. You got to respect your customer. President Trump set them on the right path, but I think they probably need an overhaul. And really, word to the wise, anybody in the C-suite of any major brand, and somebody comes into your daily or weekly meeting and says, I think we need to overhaul our image and our brand, that should be a huge red flag. We've seen it blow up in so many people's faces for so long. And hopefully nobody makes the Cracker Barrel Bud Light mistake again.
We'll see. Someone will screw it up, but they should have learned by now. When they went after Trump, we got a glimpse of just how warped the legal system is in places like New York and in Washington, how warped the juries can be, the jury pool is. But yesterday in D.C., we got a sample of it again the other way, when federal prosecutors were unable to secure a felony assault indictment against this guy in the pink, who is now a former DOJ official, who walked right up to federal officers as they were trying to secure the city, as they're doing deportations, ICE officials in the city, and just hurled a sandwich right at a federal officer. And in Washington, D.C., where everybody agrees with that guy in pink politically, they could not even get an indictment for a crime that was so blatantly caught on camera. Isn't that amazing?
I wish I could tell you I think it's shocking, but I'm living here in D.C. right now, and I'm dealing with the D.C. circuit, the D.C. district courts, and I'm not shocked because you're polling from people who are part of the bureaucracy. That's who's sitting on the jury pool. It's really twisted. You've got a guy who assaulted a police officer. I'm sorry, what an ass that guy is. I don't know if I can say that. And you've got the evidence right there. And he's not indicted for that. Yet they were indicting people in the D.C. district, every J6er, everybody who showed up on January 6th to truly, because they were concerned about the direction things were going, concerned about elections. They were throwing the books at, grandmothers who were invited into the Capitol. I mean, this is just insane. Yet we saw, anybody who's America First or anybody who's shown an inclination to be pro-Trump, they will not hesitate to try to make up charges to throw at them. So it's really a messed up district, court district, And I don't know what the solution is, but I think we've got to address this. And I've heard them talk about maybe dismantling the D.C. district and moving it into Maryland.
Yeah, it's clearly war. I mean, that is such a blatant crime. I mean, it's so obvious and on camera. If you can't indict that, if it's that politicized, it doesn't function. Right?
That's right.
I think you're right about that. Kari,
and I feel bad. I feel bad for the law enforcement. They were completely assaulted there, and to have to watch as nothing happens. It's really despicable.
Yeah, and it just allows more people to commit the same behavior. It encourages it. Kari Lake, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks.